Thank you for joining us in finding God in the world of video games. And I won't pretend that I haven't been openly critical of the release of Anthem, which is the ugly duckling in Bioware's rich portfolio of successful franchises. I mean, I have been rooting for quite some time that the development of this troubled shooter would ultimately result in a game that would eventually become a beautiful swan. But there is a different ending in mind for Anthem, a little more similar to, I don't know, the beats of Old Yeller.
In a move that most of us saw coming a mile away, just a few weeks ago, Bioware announced that they are finally ending the development of this ambitious, costly, and ultimately underperforming title, to say the least. The bell has been tolling on this one for a minute now. And for those who have appreciated this game as an alternative to Destiny, I truly hope all 8 of you will find something new to play.
Ouch, that is
soon?
Rough.
I mean,
yes.
You wrote it, so it's kind of on you.
I do write the scripts, but I made you say it, so it sounds much worse that way.
Thanks.
But I have no idea what you're talking about. I personally take no. That's not my responsibility. Everyone who is offended, please feel free to direct all your comments to this email address below.
No, please don't.
I'm getting word that email address is not a working email address. Wait, nobody actually plays Anthem? So nobody cares? Oh, okay. Well, but seriously.
Ouch, that was ouch.
Okay, maybe that was a little more ouch. But seriously, I am of two minds on this news. On one hand, I would absolutely prefer that the minds behind Bioware funnel their resources into titles that have an actual chance for success, like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Jade Empire, literally anything else, maybe even My Little Pony, anything but more Anthem. But on the other hand, it is always sad to see a game fail to rise to its potential as magnificently as Anthem failed to. Many people put a lot of work into this game that was meant to spawn a franchise. I mean, we bought it. We wanted it to be good.
We played it for like an hour.
We tried.
We really
failed. But for their attempts, they wanted to make this a franchise, and for them, this will always be a part of their work resume that will probably always carry a bitter aftertaste because it didn't go where they wanted it to.
Bioware did everything they could to give this game a fighting chance to survive, but at the end of the day, they have chosen to cut their losses, learn their lessons, hopefully, and move on. Anthem will still exist and remain playable, at least for now, but it will never be more than what it is today. So if you love it, congratulations. You can continue to play it exactly as it is until the servers, get shut off in about a year.
And if you don't, I have good news for you too. You're about to get about 40 gigabytes of space back on your hard drive.
Good.
Everybody wins.
There you go.
One of the hardest parts of life is taking a negative or disappointing experience and deleting it off of our personal hard drive. Now, we covered that subject in depth here. I'll put that down if you want to search it, if you missed our previous article. We did talk about Anthem a few months ago before we knew that it was truly done for. But when reflecting on this news on Anthem, there's an even deeper challenge to this than meets the eye. Sure, we can delete Anthem off of our hard drive and we can reclaim all of that space for future use. But what if you don't install something else in that space? While it has been removed from your ability to access it, it's technically still there, filling that space. I mean, anyone who performs a basic system recovery can get back deleted files on their PC. And I'm sure you probably had to do that at some point when you deleted something you didn't need to. And even more importantly, the space still remains there for it to be reinstalled if you happen to have a moment of weakness. Simply deleting our Anthem experience and moving forward is important, but there is still something to be done about that supposedly empty space that it once occupied. And as we'll find, there is a great danger associated with our unoccupied hard drive space that warrants a deeper look. In Matthew chapter 12, Jesus provides a very easily comprehended analogy on the danger that empty spaces present to each of us. Matthew 12:43-45, he says, "When an unclean spirit goes out of a man, goes through dry places seeking rest and finds none. Then he says, I will return to the house from which I came. When he finds it, empty, swept, and put in order, he goes and takes with him 7 more spirits, more wicked than himself. They enter and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. And so shall it be with this wicked generation." Similar to a hard drive when the Lord delivers us from an oppressive evil spirit that has either horribly traumatized us or perhaps led us into a previous sinful lifestyle. That evil presence has been deleted. Okay? But they have not ceased to exist. They were simply ejected, and their access has been removed. And here's the critical part of Christ's lesson. If that space that they previously occupied remains vacant, it provides them for an opportunity to return and an opportunity for us to relapse. That oppression can come back, and it opens the door for a problem that, as you saw, is exponentially worse, 7 times worse in the case of this analogy.
Past traumas, damage done to us by others or ourselves, and the ravages of sin on a soul that was never designed to carry such a burden exist in our minds and hearts like blocks on a hard drive. They pop up at the worst possible times, inflict additional pain on our psyche, and can even poison future relationships and opportunities. Sure, the delivering power of Christ can cast out even the most hardened sinful past and undo the pain of any abuse we have endured. But as Jesus himself is showing us here, it is not a simple one-step process.
No, it's not. Now, he will absolutely kick out all of the evil that has occupied our mind and our heart space. But as long as that space has not been filled with something else, it is just waiting for its previous occupant to come back with a vengeance. I know many times I have been guilty of letting the devil live rent-free in my head, stilling my current joy and happiness, but reminding me of past hurts and pains, and robbing me of my peace by holding my previously forgiven sins against me. But for a follower of Christ, that space does not belong to Satan anymore. We are under new management, and Satan cannot afford the rent. This space was purchased at the highest possible price, the blood of the Son of God himself.
All we have to do is let the rightful owner of our souls fill that space with his spirit. Fill that empty space with him each and every day. Spend time with his word, meditating on it throughout your day, like we see in Psalm 119:11.
Remain in constant contact with him at all times, keeping our mind on him all day long and reaching out to him in prayer in every situation. So when the enemy comes knocking at the door, claiming that he, left his keys in the couch, stand on the authority that we have been given by the Lord to rebuke him and let him know he does not live here anymore. Keep your hard drive filled each and every day with intentional actions that keep the Lord at the center of our thoughts and actions. And we won't have to worry about that Anthem trying to reclaim hard drive space that it no longer possesses. The secret to keeping the enemy out of our minds is to allow Christ to fill all of that available space. Deleting Anthem is only step 1. Take that second step today. Remove that for rent sign and fill that hard drive space in your mind with him. The enemy has lived rent-free in a space that doesn't belong to him long enough.